Okay, today we are talking about how do we learn from stimulus response. Okay, it is our table. We have introduction, the SR mode, the learn cycle, the three turn consequence, key principles of the SR mechanics, practical application, the audiolingual method, and the conclusion. Okay, the introduction. Okay, let's talk about behaviorism. The main idea is focus on behavior that we can see and measure. It's not about what happened inside the mind, just what we do and say. From this view, language is a set of learned behavior. It's not something we are born with, but something we pick up from the environment, through the interaction, learning to walk or ride a bicycle. Okay. Now, how does learn actually happen? That is where the SR mode. The SR mode. The explained condition is behavior is shared by its consequence. If behavior leads to a good result or reward, is more likely to happen again. Here the environment is key. It proves the stimulus that start the behavior, and it also gives the feedback. The reward is our punishment right later. Let's look at this process step by step. This is called the cycle or free turn contingency. Stimulus, attire from the environment, explain the language, some asking the question, or just like you see the apple, or you hear the vocabulary. Second is response. The learner for reaction to the stimulus. Explain like saying apple and try to answer the question like the stimulus. And third is the reinforcement. The feedback that comes right after the response. If it's a positive, like get the apple or hit a good job, the connection gets stronger. If it's a negative or ignore, the connection weakness. So in behaviorism, language learned is this ongoing loop, stimulus, response, and reinforcement. From this cycle, repeat again and again. Correct language behavior are strategic, and that's how we learn to speak and understand.
So based on the SRR cycle we just explained, there are a few key principles in how this mechanic actually works in language learning. First, intimation. This is about observing and copying models. Children listen to people around them, such as their parents, friends, and teachers, and they try to repeat the sound, words, and sentence they hear. And the second is practice. This involves a lot of trial and error. Learners try out different sounds and structures. Sometimes they guess it right, sometimes they guess it wrong. Through practice, the correct forms are slowly reinforced. And the third, habit formation. The goal is automating speech. After enough repetition and positive reinforcement, the correct language responses become automatic. Like a habit, you don't think hard to say thank you or how are you. It just comes out naturally. what the theory puts into practice in the classroom. A great example is the audiolingual method, which was very popular in mid-20th century. ALM focuses heavily on classroom drills and repetition. Students repeat phrases and sentences again and again until they can say them quickly and correctly without thinking. And immediately correction and positive feedback. If a student makes a mistake, the teacher corrects it right away. When the student says it correctly, teacher give them praise or positive reinforcement. This is follow the SRR cycle very closely. Stimulus is teacher's model. Response is students' repetition. And reinforcement is correction and praise. And a conclusion. At its core, behavioralism relies on the SRR stimulus response reinforcement cycle. It teaches us that language learning depends heavily on environmental triggers, imitation, repetitivity, practice, and immediately feedback. This approach simplifies complex language into predictable, trainable habits. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you. Teacher, I love you. Please give me a high score.